On 29 October 1929, the U.S. stock market crashed, triggering the worst economic crisis in American history, the Great Depression. Over the next decade, millions lost their jobs, banks failed, and families struggled to survive. But how did this happen? And how did America recover from this devastating collapse? The trouble started in the 1920s, a decade known as the Roaring Twenties. The U.S. economy was booming, and stock prices were skyrocketing. Many Americans invested their life savings in stocks, believing prices would continue to rise. But behind this economic success, serious problems were growing. Factories were overproducing goods. Wages weren't keeping up, and most stock purchases were made using borrowed money. This created a financial bubble, one that was about to burst. On October 24, 1929, Black Thursday, stock prices began to fall, causing panic among investors. Banks and businesses rushed to sell their stocks, leading to a massive crash on October 1929, Black Tuesday. Within hours, billions of dollars vanished, and thousands of investors lost everything. The stock market collapse sent shockwaves through the economy. As panic spread, people rushed to withdraw their savings from banks. But the banks themselves had invested heavily in the stock market. With no money left, many banks went bankrupt, wiping out people's life savings. Without banks, businesses couldn't get loans. Without loans, they couldn't pay workers. Unemployment soared from 3% to 25%, leaving over 15 million Americans jobless. Homelessness skyrocketed, and Hoovervilles, makeshift shantytowns, appeared across the country. Farmers suffered the most. As crop prices collapsed, many couldn't pay their debts and lost their farms. Then came another disaster, the Dust Bowl. Severe droughts and dust storms in the 1930s turned fertile lands into wastelands, forcing thousands of farming families to migrate in search of work. President Herbert Hoover, in office when the crash happened, believed the economy would fix itself. But things only got worse. In 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected president and introduced the New Deal, a series of government programs aimed at reviving the economy. The New Deal provided jobs, built infrastructure, and reformed the banking system. Programs like the Social Security Act and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation (FDIC) changed the way America handled financial security. Though the New Deal helped, the real end of the Great Depression came with World War II. The war created millions of jobs in factories, producing weapons and supplies for the military. As production increased, so did employment, pulling America out of its economic nightmare. The Great Depression was a defining moment in U.S. history, teaching valuable lessons about financial regulation and economic policies. It reshaped the role of the government in the economy and left a lasting impact on how America handles financial crises.